And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Last year, Clank in Space came out, a sequel to Clank and more of a gamer's game than Clank was. Clank in Space Apocalypse is an expansion for Clank in Space, doesn't work with Clank, and kind of takes that idea and runs with it a little bit more. It adds schemes to this game, giving you this overall plot, which is kind of cool, but also gives you things you have to watch out for and extra benefits. The things even out. So this adds some more cards, more stuff, easily put into your Clank game or Clank in Space game. Here's what it does. So to play with the new expansion, you're probably going to use the main feature of that, which is these schemes. There are different schemes that come with this expansion. We have level 1s, category 1s. These are easier ones to do. Time Travel Paradox, Microbot Army, Toxogenetic Plague, Global Internment, Atmospheric Theft, Space Invasion, Interdimensional Monsters. Now each of these, so let's say, I'm looking here at this one, for example, Global Internment. Now, the way a scheme works is first you'll look on the card itself to see if you need to put a specific module in play. This game comes with 2 new modules. You do not have to use these new modules, but they recommend that if you're going to play with this expansion, I'll use one of them, but you might need a specific one. For example, here, this one mentions the Viral Lab on it, so if you're going to play with that, then you need to use the Viral Lab. So it will tell you if you need a specific one. So what you'll do is every time from the bag, when the enemy attacks and you pull a black cube, you're going to put them on these spots here. When these black cubes go all the way across, something bad will happen. Trash all prisoners in the adventure row. Remove all med kits from the market. And then when the bottom one, that's really terrible. At the end of a player's turn, that player must trash a non-starting card they played that turn. That's crazy bad. Okay, well, all's not lost because you can remove these black cubes. Each one's different. So here you spend 3 money to take a black cube. If you're in the Viral Lab module, you only need to spend 2. Here you can spend attack equal to the scheme's current phase to take a black cube, 1, 2, or 3. Here you can spend 2 money. Here you discard a program. Here you spend a movement. So there are many ways to take the black cubes. Once one section of it's finished, you can no longer take the black cubes off that section. So you have to be careful for that. Now, what does this do? Well, this slows things down. These black cubes are worth a point at the end of the game. Well, that's not bad. But black cubes can also be used to activate things. You'll notice here on this board here, if I'm in this spot, I can activate them to get credits or activate this to get a core crystal. There are different spots here. Use a black cube to get health or to draw more cards. So black cubes can be used for that. Black cubes can also be used for some specific cards. So here's some of the new cards that are included in this set. So we have here, when you play this one, you can play a black cube, take any secret in your current module. The Water Bear, which is possibly my favorite card. I just like the Water Bear. He's 3 attack, but you can also teleport to another space. This VR Gamer, if I spend 2, I get 10 money. That's pretty neat. Or put a cube from your supply on an artifact or escape pod. Someone else has to pay me 5 to take that token. The Boss attacks. Everyone but me. I like the embedded operative. This one is 1 money and 1 attack, but it could be 5. Fry all 9,000. And the Shrewd Coder, use the effect of a data port you've hacked, or acquire a memory core. So there's some really neat stuff. These cards are good on their own, but if you get black cubes, so much the better. There's also some enemies. I mean, like here, I can steal a black cube from the bag, or here if I trash any cards this turn, take a black cube, and when this one arrives, you take a black cube from the bag and put it on the scheme. So you have to be careful. This one can also be negative, but when you acquire this, take a black cube. So there's other things that affect this too, even possibly monsters like this cocoon creature here. When he arrives, remove a black cube from the bag and put it on this scheme. And then there's some normal monsters and normal things that you'll have as you fight these different cards. And there's also some more normal cards that are included with the game. Although there's some neat ones here, like I like this one here has, if you play this clone crew, they basically work with all 4 different types of cards. That's a cool combo for me. That means this is going to do something different. If I see the Clone Crew, I'm buying it hands down because I just think it's that neat. War Machine works with different things. What else did I like? This guy just gives nice money, but it costs 11. However, it's 3 less for each power crystal that you have. Here you can turn over the top card and fight it or do it in the psychic pool that Tom Cruise works with. Some draw cards. When you get them, you get extra Clank. Here, -2 Clank, or each opponent gets +1 Clank. That's fun. Or do both. That's even better. Amnesiac Agent, and then Mega Phalion, where I can discard a card to draw 2 cards and possibly do it twice. So all these new cards make it a nice addition, and like I said, you can kind of play with them. In fact, you can play with these even if you're not using the schemes. The way that works is you just put a pile of the black cubes. As they come out of the bag, they go in a pool, and you can always pay 3 money to take one if you want. And then you can use the black cubes to use the different modules and or cards in the game. The game comes with a new big bad guy who, in my case here, is broken. I'll probably glue the arm back on him at some point. This is not from my component drop. This guy just came like this in the box, and I looked, and if you look carefully, you'll see that the other arm is almost cracked too. This is a kind of a fragile piece. It's fixable, but just thought I should mention that. Other than that, the new modules, they look really cool. These cards are really nice. These new basically the scheme cards. All the information is really clear on them, and as always, I like the combination of artwork and humor that's in this game, and they did a good job. This is very easy. Everything can be easily added into the original box. This is a very enjoyable expansion. I really liked it. It kind of steps up. You know, I have Clank and Clank in Space, and I'm always like, which one do I, play at any given point in time? Aren't they really the same game? At this point, with their expansions and the way that they've evolved, I really feel like they're different games. This really takes Clank and Space somewhere else. You are now pulling out the black cubes, and you're watching this scheme, and the scheme can do bad things. And yes, it kind of amps up the negative things that happen to players, but the positive benefits, and it gives you something else too. I don't know what to do. Ooh, I'll take one of these black cubes. I have some extra resources I can spend on it. And you can pick the scenario that kind of works best for you. This is the scheme I'm going to work with. And now you have these black cubes, which might be nothing, but they also might be points at the end of the game. I should say they might be nothing, but they might just be a point at the end of the game. But they can be more than that. You can use them to activate those modules. And so if you're playing with the scheme, you might as well always play with one of the modules that can use the black cubes, because now you have something to do. More modules, two-sided modules, is 4 different modules in the game. That certainly increases the variability. These cards, realizing that for now, mixing all this stuff in, I didn't see any problem like, oh, I'll never see a card that uses black cubes. They do show up. But as more and more expansions come, they may not use the black cubes, so you might have that dilution. That's a future problem. I guess I'm not worried about it now. I'm just thinking about that. So this is great. I'll put it in. If I'm teaching someone Clank in Space for the first time, I'll probably teach this too. It's not that hard, and again, it makes it that much more of a gamery style game. Very recommend it. Clank in Space Apocalypse. Dice Tower Judgment approved.